Dr. Greg and welcome to my video, and I will be discussing to you today on the topic on how do we develop a new vaccine and what are vaccine trials. So don't forget to subscribe and please click that notification bell so that every time I come up with a new video, you will be the first to get notified. So let's go on with this vaccine video. So how do we develop a new vaccine? Okay, so this is what we call vaccine trials. Okay, so how do we know if it's safe for humans and how do we know if it works? So these are all answered through what we call clinical trials. So clinical trials are done in vaccines and other pharmaceutical products to determine if the product is safe and effective. So the purpose of a vaccine is to prevent new infectious disease. So how do we do this? So laboratory testing is done, okay, and it's a very long and tedious process, and it is to determine really the safety of the product, which is the vaccine. Okay, so once there is a possible vaccine that is promising, this will be tested among animals. So first is animal testing. So the vaccine should be tested among animals first for safetiness and effectiveness. And this will be done through many types of animals. So from rats to primates, the vaccine testing is done among animals to determine the safety and efficacy of the vaccine. Okay? So you don't test it directly among humans. So you test it among animals. Okay? So after testing the animals and it is found to be safe and most probably effective, then a second phase wherein the human trials can begin. So now we go on to the clinical trials. Clinical trials involve recruiting healthy volunteers as subjects where the vaccines will be given, and there will also be volunteers wherein a placebo, which is basically salt and water, will be given. So the researchers and the volunteers should have a very good rapport and very good relationship. So the volunteers will report the symptoms and the effects or side effects that they will develop. Okay. So all volunteers will undergo a comprehensive physical exam and blood testing workups before they are enrolled. And most volunteers should be healthy without any comorbid conditions. So the factors that will affect the vaccine will be minimized or will be focused only on the real effects or side effects of the vaccine. So what we do is what we call a randomized double-blind trial. This means that both the volunteers and the researchers do not know who will get the vaccine or who will get the placebo. The reporters will report what is told from the volunteers. So the three phases of a clinical trial will take several years. So the first phase, which usually takes around 1 to 2 years, is really focused on the safetiness of the vaccine. And this will also test for the immune reaction of the vaccine to the human body. And this test will also show if the vaccine is doing what it is supposed to do to promote an immune response and possible long-term protection against a new infection. The second phase of the vaccine also takes around 1 to 2 years. In this phase, the trial will be testing on the right dose and timing of the vaccine to elicit the strongest immune response. Okay, so the effectiveness will depend on how effective the immune response of the human body will get from this vaccine. And the third phase, this is where the volunteers come in. The vaccine is given to volunteers as well as placebos are also given. And this phase will determine if the vaccine is effective in the total population or only in a subgroup, such as women only, children only, people aged below 18, or if it works in all people. Okay, so the phase 1 together with the phase 2 and the phase 3 clinical trials will determine the safetiness of the vaccine. The phase 3 itself will show if the vaccine is really effective, and this is where the FDA will base whether the vaccine can be sold or be produced for open market. Okay, so it takes usually 6 to 10 years for a vaccine to be out in the market. Okay, so from phase 1 up to the real world market, it takes around that time. It takes real time because you have to wait for side effects and the amount of people involved, the volunteers that should be tested. The more people that are tested, the more accurate will be the results, and how safe and effective the vaccine is really dependent on the amount of people and the time given to determine if it's really safe or not. Okay, clinical trials are necessary to make sure that vaccines are safe and effective in preventing new infections. So with this, I hope you learned something from this video. So don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. And thank you for watching. God bless. Bye-bye.